Morning everybody, I'm Luke Sullivan with Transwest Truck Trailer RV up here in Frederick, Colorado, right off Interstate 25. Real easy to spot us right on the frontage road. Ton of inventory on the lot. We are a dealer for Logan Coach Trailers, and behind me that's exactly what we have is a 2025 Logan Coach Bullseye 2-horse. So really nice runaround trailer. We've got a front tack in it, a lot of versatility with it. If it's your first time trailer and you're really looking to gain some independence with your horse, great introduction into trailing with this bumper pull trailer. If you've got a big LQ and you need to run around to get into town to the clinic or the farrier or some trailheads or something like that, and you want a little bit of a shorter trailer to get into some tighter spots, this is certainly going to help you out with that. So a lot of versatility with this trailer. If you're new into trailering, let's talk about what I think is one of the most important aspects of any trailer, and that's the hitch and the coupler system. Certainly anytime you connect to your tow vehicle, you're going to want to make sure you're completely positively latched. So Logan does a nice job. We're not going to get that to go through all the way because it's a video, of course, but Logan does a really nice job with this hitch. I like this coupler a lot. It's a 2 5/16 inch ball. It's what you need on your truck. And then the coupler is pretty automatic. So this is your latch position. This is your travel position. When you throw this pin through there, that's a bit of a safety. But when it's in this down position, you can even connect your ball just like this. It'll automatically couple over it. It's kind of spring loaded. And then to disconnect, you pull that right up. Easy as that. And again, like I said, this is your safety pin to go through as well. And then heavy duty safety chains. This is actually a great way to show you how to shorten these up too. So you'll hear it's summertime out here in Colorado when we're in high fire danger. Maybe you hear on the news once in a while, make sure you're not dragging chains on your trailers and making sparks. This is how you can shorten these up so that you're not dragging them. And all we've done is twist it. So, and you see very quickly, I'm making this quite a bit longer too. So untwist it to make it a bit longer if you've got a bit short of a coupler of a hitch and you need to shorten this chain up so it's not dragging on the road. You can see how it just curls up on itself real nicely too. So double chains on this. Logan does a nice spot to stow those, and then we have a emergency brake disconnect cable over here tied up, tucked away for the moment. We are a 7-pin connection in it. We've got it into a little bit of a dummy battery to show you some lights and some functionality of those. And then hand crank jack. Talk really quickly about Transwest and some of the things we can do for you. If you find something in inventory, we can do a lot of different add-ons for you, whether it's adding a ramp or taking a ramp off the back of a trailer, whether it's adding an electric jack on our gooseneck, electric over hydraulic. That's always an option. With that electric jack especially, you're going to get a 12-volt deep cycle battery service too. So some benefits with that. Even when you're not hooked up to a tow vehicle, you can run your lights in your tack room, your floodlights outside of your trailer, whether you're tacking up. Really nice little added bonus to add that feature as well. So again, a lot of the functionality. What I think is one of the most important aspects of any trailer, whether it's a gooseneck, whether it's a fifth wheel camper or a bumper pull trailer like this, is make sure you have a positive connection, make sure you have the right equipment, and then we'll talk a little bit about brakes and brake controllers when we get to the back towards the axles. So now we'll work our way into the tack room and talk about some of the amenities that this trailer offers. We are only a 2-horse configuration, but like I said, if you're going to show out of this trailer, if you're doing trail rides out of this trailer on a regular basis, if you're doing any kind of traveling, we've got a ton of storage in here. First and foremost, on the door, just a double-ended snap, really simple system, but 4 nice big long blanket pad holders there for us. Real easy to load them up there if we're at a show, if we're stopped and parked for a while. Nice to throw all our blanket or pads on there, let them air out, let them dry a little bit, and then pin them right up, back up against the door. And nice way to stay a bit more organized, keep some of that stuff off the floor and out of the inside of the tack room. And then to complement that too, nice little brush box, spray bottles, whatever you want to store in there. Logan does a nice little piece of carpet down there just to keep things tidier. But really easy access as soon as we open this door. Again, like I said, whether you're keeping a couple fly spray or show sheen bottles in there or some brushes to knock your horses off before you take off on a ride. Really nice to be able to do that. And then you'll see lockable latch as well, so you have a bit of security with these trailers as well. You'll get a set of master keys with the trailer that will be able to lock this up tight for you, and then on this case, on this trailer, we'll be able to lock our head windows, our drop windows at our head side too, and we could very easily put some padlocks on the rear doors and lock this up tight. If you're at a show, if you're staying at a hotel overnight, really easy to keep things secure. Stepping inside the trailer, first and foremost, I'm going to flick on some lights for us. We've got individual control over the floodlight above us. Our switches are just above our onboard water tank here as well. And then we've got control of our interior LED as well. So all LEDs, really low power draw, whether you're running these off your tow vehicle when you're plugged in, or you do opt for that 12 volt deep cycle service, you're going to get a lot of life out of your batteries with these LEDs. They're very low power draw, just like I said. So really nice feature about these trailers is these swing out saddle racks. So I'll step back out here for a second and really show you, first and foremost, we've got this one way up high, so that wouldn't suit me at all if this was my trailer. So we'll drop it down to my height. We can very easily add a third as well if that's something that you wanted to do, if it was something you weren't using very often. But you can see I'm barely 5'6" all day long, and you can throw a couple saddles on here. This one's just at my head height, and I'm standing on the ground. I don't have to get into the tack room anymore. I don't have to trip over my girth and my stirrups and get caught up in this threshold. Throw all this stuff on here. I'm ground level. I'm literally taking it off my horse's back and throwing it on here, and then we can swing it right back out of the way and forget about it. Get our saddle pads on there and dry them out, and we're in really good shape. So nice to have this that swings out. We're gonna swing it back out so Jody can have a little look inside with us while we're in here. But first and foremost, you will see carpeted floor in here. Easy to pull this out and sweep it out and brush it off if you want to. Easy to keep it clean too. Just with a bit, it's really easy to keep clean and brush out and sweep out if you need to. We do have a full-size matching spare on our opposing wall here. Spun it around to save it a little bit. We do that on our goosenecks very often to save face a little bit and protect them from all of that is kicking up behind our trucks, but obviously kind of did the same there just to help it out. But it is a full-size matching wheel and tire, so aluminum wheels on this guy, 15-inch tires, and really great running gear on these trailers. So we'll talk more about axles and brakes when we get outside, but nice to have that matching spare, whether you have a blowout on the way to the show and you still want to be matching, you don't want to have that old steel wheel that's rusted out going on there, or if you want to buy a little more life out of all of your tires. You bought a trailer with 5 wheels and tires, why not get some use out of this one too? Add it into your tire rotation program. Like I said, you'll buy a little bit more life, tread out of all of your tires. So some more ability to stay organized. We've got bridle hooks here from side to side almost. We stopped it right before that water tank there. Obviously not going to be able to fit much up there above that, but endless hoops here, endless hooks here. Really, whether you're hanging a bunch more hoses or extension cords for your fans for your show that you need to go to, or you've got a ton of headgear, ton of halters and bridles that you want to hang up here, and be prepared for whichever activity you're going out for. And then below that, it's carpeted as well. So twofold for this. We've all seen the used trailers going down the road that have the half U shape from all the metal bits or headgear or whatever it is bouncing off those walls, whether they're the aluminum trailers or the painted steel trailers. We've all seen it on all those. So first and foremost, gonna really hold some value with that. Gonna really keep things looking a lot sharper, a lot nicer, and a lot cleaner. And then secondarily to that, we're sharing this wall with our horses. So imagine, especially on those old steel trailers, the amount of noise and echo that we're making with all that metal stuff banging on that metal wall with our horses' heads right on the other side. So a bit of a sound deadener. Really, really nice feature that's added in with that. Starting to see, I failed to mention it a little bit up there on the hitch, but it's fully coated as well. You'll start to see, especially when we get in the horse compartment, but here our lower wall is completely coated with Logan's Vortex liner. Very similar to a truck bed liner. Really, really tough stuff. They now coat the underside and the back side of our gooseneck drop walls on all our gooseneck trailers, so they see a ton of debris out here, especially we have a ton of gravel and dirt roads getting kicked up behind Our pickup truck's right behind those rear wheels and tires, so they see a lot of abuse. We're not going to tell you it'll never chip or never flake or anything like that, but it holds up really, really well. I'm sure as you've seen now when we were looking at switches and looking around in here a little bit too, we have a full onboard water tank too. So gravity feed system, we've just got a cap at the top of it, fill it with your garden hose at the farm, and then you can very easily, sure why it was askew there, but you can very easily throw your 5-gallon bucket underneath there. It'll fit right under that brown spigot there and fill up to your heart's content. Really nice to have some water with you from home, whether you're at a trailhead that doesn't have water, you're at a show, it's the off season, they've turned off your water source. And then also twofold with that bottom valve, obviously can drain that out completely for wintertime. You don't want to keep any water in there during the winter months. But then also we include a little 10-foot hose that you can hook up to the bottom of that and then run this right outside and fill up some buckets that way as well. So you'll get a little faster gravity feed out of it that way. Again, always nice to have some water from home. Whether you're on a long road trip or you're showing just down the road, nice to be able to offer it. It's getting really hot this time of year, so nice to be able to always bring some with you. We'll get it closed back up for you and take a look at the side profile of this trailer. Oversized tack room door, a little bit wider than you'd normally see just to accommodate that swing out saddle rack, and nice to have that extra entrance and exit room, especially when you've got that swung out. So couple of things you'll notice here on passenger side, we are big oversized bus windows on our hip side. We can move a lot of air through these, complement those head side drop windows really, really well. Move a lot of air through these trailer in the summer months. Up above, we do have another floodlight. That one is controlled at the rear post of the trailer. Easy access. We can control both our driver and passenger side floodlight and a rear floodlight over the back doors independently from the interior lights in our horse area as well. So nice to be able to have some light shed out here. We're all working early mornings and late nights. Obviously too, we can tie up here as well. So nice to be able to tie up right here next to our tack room, right below our floodlight, see what we're doing and what we've got going on and shed a little bit of light. Again, like I said, all LEDs too, so low power draw, can run these a long time on our batteries. Let's talk a little bit about running gear. Talking potentially getting new into the trailering game, we'll talk about trailer brakes very quickly. So first and foremost, these are 3,500 pound Dexter rubber torsion axles. All 4 wheels and tires are equipped with electric drum brakes. So you have a set on each axle. Now you need a way to control that. Your tow vehicle should be equipped either from the factory or aftermarket. Talk a little bit about Transwest can help you out with that too. So feel free to reach out with questions in that regard. But you want to be able to, you want to make sure you have control over the settings over your brakes and you have control over the force that they put out. So your load, these are dynamic loads with horses. It's ever changing. This trailer completely empty. You could double the weight of it when you add a couple horses and tack of it. So you want to be able to change that setting, weather dependent as well. You always want to be able to dial those brakes in and certainly never lock them up, but certainly never overwork your tow vehicle either. So again, really happy to help you out with that here at Transwest, whether it's adding equipment or whether it's just a little bit of a tutorial. We've got a big parking lot here. We can do a ton of laps and get you feeling comfortable with that, because a lot of it's seat of the pants and a feel too. So working our way around to the back of the trailer, we ran too many lights for you. I was going to show you some blinkers and stuff on our battery box and we killed it. But Logan does a nice job. Couple different things. Again, like I said, all our floodlights, all our awning lights, all our interior lights are LEDs, so they're low power draw, but so are all our marker lights, our brake lights, and our tail lights. Again, a lot brighter at the night, a lot easier to see. And then Logan does a nice job there. That middle white section is a reverse light too. So no change to our wiring, no changes to our plugs and our pins. It's still a 7-pin connector to get those guys plugged in. Just always been kind of an underutilized system, but nice to have a bit of more light. Whether it's a big 30 or 40 or 50 foot long living quarters and you want to see what's behind you, or it's a small little bumper pull. Your tow vehicle never sheds enough light, especially in those reverse tail lights. So nice to be able to have a little bit more, see what you're doing when you back up. So we'll open these guys up. We'll look at Logan's floor. So we have rubber mats over a wood floor. Now, their wood floor is coated with the Vortex liner, so you're gonna get a lot of that same durability that we're getting on all our drop walls in here, all our kick walls and our head wall as well. Just like I said, this material holds up really, really well. Our suggestion with maintenance and care for a wood floor, first and foremost, good housekeeping. Don't store wet, or don't store your trailer for any length of time, especially with urine soaked wet shavings or anything like that. Clean it out after your usage. And then depending on usage, we would certainly suggest bare minimum once a year, pull these mats out. Nice easy trailer like this, we've only got one full size and a couple small sections to pull out of there. Check your floor, get a good look at things, wash it out, and again, like we said, don't keep anything stored in there that has any kind of moisture to it. That's going to be the biggest harmful thing to your wood floors. So single divider, we're a 2-horse trailer here, padded on both sides. It is telescoping too, so that gives us a little bit of a benefit here if we ever want to multi-purpose this trailer and haul a little quad. Maybe you could fit a golf cart in here. We'd have to take some measurements for you. But if you wanted to multi-purpose it, if you wanted to get a load of hay, if you want to be able to run with these doors closed and that partition open, that's what that telescoping divider enables us to do, is to get it flush against this wall here. And then we have a couple D-rings there with a double-ended snap that very easily holds it there for us while we're doing what we need to do. So again, looking around the trailer, you can see on our partition wall up front and our kick walls front and back, we've got our Vortex liner all over the place. Think very highly of it. It's a really, really tough material, and I think it speaks for itself. So on hip side here, before we get to some drop windows on the head side, which is really one of the best parts of this trailer, but we do have LEDs above each of our horses, so we can shed a lot of light in here. We have control over those, like I said, at a switch there at our rear post, but we can individually control them as well. Too bad our battery died, or I would show you that. So working our way over here to driver's side now. A little tricky to see with some screens that we have in them, but we do have full drop windows at the head of each horse, so can pull a lot of air through these trailers. Jail bars with the screen isn't going to restrict any of that airflow, and we can move a ton of air. We've had 90s flirting with triple digits and probably even made it into it last week. So certainly would have wanted to have this trailer wide open if I was hauling a few. And then roof vents above each horse as well. So these are a two-way roof vent. So the way that I've opened it now, it's going to scoop air in for us. Summertime, we want to move as much air through and over our horses as we can. So that's going to bring it right down over top of their necks and right down their backs. And then again, we have one for our second horse as well. And then the two-way function of these is wintertime. We don't want to move a lot of cold air over them, but we want to get some of that air out of the top of this trailer, especially you can get a lot of condensation buildup. So you can open that in reverse and pull some air out of these trailers as you're traveling down the road. And then real easy, simple as that, to close them back up. Whether you're storing it, don't want to get any rain in there, or you're traveling on a rainy day and you want to keep it a little bit drier in here if you can. So a lot going on in here. Again, really nice little two-horse setup in here. Really easy to use. Nice to be able to clip this over here too if you've got one that you need an extra hand to load with you. And then slam latches, simple as that. You're back and you're ready to go. We did talk briefly up front about add-ons that we can do at Transwest. Another one, we can always add a ramp for you. With Logan's, we can get factory parts. And then Logan's design is actually bolt-on. So you're not gonna see any new welding. We're not gonna grind off any of that Vortex liner. It's gonna be as simple as unbolting that rubber bumper and bolting on a factory Logan ram for you. If you find a trailer on the lot that's not white, we can even color match it or ordering directly through Logan. So can't show you any lights like we talked about, but there's our switches. Bottom one's gonna do our interior horse area, and then the top one's gonna do all three of our floodlights around the outside of the trailer. You have separate control of that floodlight at the tack room as well. Couple things on driver's side that are gonna mirror image. Passenger side, we've got a couple tie hooks here, parking. Got a couple horses that don't get along, you need to tie something separately. You have that ability, and then you have a floodlight above them as well. But what we've got going on here is our drop windows. Really, really nice to move a lot of air through these trailers. This is just now free open space. So with Logan, center bar is spring loaded. That's your latching mechanism or unlatching mechanism to drop these jail bars. Now, if you're at a fuel stop, you want to offer a little water to your horses, you're getting ready to load or unload and you want to get a lead shank clipped on, you can very easily do that. And we've certainly have a few customers that have said my horses are a little bit too nibbly for this screen. It's just a couple little Velcro loops on the bottom and just a couple sewn loops on the top that it'll real easily just pop off of there for you. And then spring-loaded latch pops right back into its track. And then from there, this free swings. And two things that I really like about these doors, first and foremost, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it today, but there's a really big suction cup there that holds these windows down flat against the side when you're traveling down the road. So I've been in some crosswinds now where I've seen these actually come all the way closed when they don't have some kind of latch about that. And then Logan does an awesome job with these. As you can see, that latch is way too tall for me. We have some competitors that do them on the side and they're a bit of a reach for me. But they do a nice job with this bar that brings that latch all the way down here to a really reasonable level to reach. And it's as easy as, close it one more time, just giving her a tug down and she'll open right up for you. So nice to have that. You don't have to climb up, which I'm sure you've all done before, and hang on to a tie ring and reach a latch at the same time. So nice to have those options. Like we said, really awesome runaround trailer from Logan Coach. This is a Bullseye model. Got a few different options that send you down the road. And then again, like I said, if there's some add-ons, if you're dying for a ramp, it checks all your boxes, give us a shout. We can certainly work some numbers for you with our parts and service department, and they'd be happy to help you as well. Have any questions about this trailer? If you have any questions about tow vehicles, brake controllers, my email's down below, luke.sullivan@transwest.com. You can call or text me on my cell phone, 859-509-1282. And then if you have questions about this trailer directly, feel free to reference it on our website. Its stock number is 5N250551. Thanks for your time today, everybody. También hablo español.